All right, welcome back to a brand new episode here of the Basic Mix series. We are just about through adding a basic verb to the whole track here. I just need to add verb to this last one, and we'll be on our way to start listening, panning, doing some master fader effects. We are closing in on the end here. So this last one is just a big O. Here it comes. So we're going to give him a lot of verb. And we are in a pretty good spot here to start listening through. We got to do some more panning, though, I think, on all these guitars. That's going to be the tricky thing here. So we probably want to get bigger and wider as we go. So maybe I'll start at the end and pan things nice and open and wide, um, and sort of work my way backwards. If I go to the big ending here. Just going to turn down a little bit while I work on this area. So panning, I already did the drums. I just did some really small amounts of panning on the drums. But panning is something that, you can approach in lots of different ways. I tend to just try to do something, again, that's organized and makes sense. So in this ending here, we essentially have this guitar. Outside of the rhythm stuff, we have this guitar, the group of guitars. This guitar. We have this big one. And then this one in the middle, which is that lead again. Okay, so that lead is probably going to stay pan center. That's easy. Those two are probably going to be panned somewhere. And we have this acoustic. And then we have the cellos. Of course, the piano as well. Now, the piano is a stereo track, so I'm going to leave that as it is because it has some stereo width to it as it is. So that's going to be pan quote-unquote center. It also has its own reverb built in, and I put some reverb on it. The cellos, there's two of them. There's sort of this rhythm one. Oh, I'm messing up here. The cello over here. This is the rhythm here. Maybe. Okay, so this is actually the lead. And then this is like a special cello thing. So this is interesting. Yeah, so this right here is unlike anything else that's happening in this whole cello performance. So I'm actually gonna make an executive decision to treat this differently. We're gonna trim that. We're gonna duplicate both of the tracks that I have selected here. So I just duplicated that one, and then we're gonna duplicate this one. And then we're going to take both of these and we're going to move them down like that. Put this one up here. And we're going to call this cello 3, mic 1, cello 3, mic 2. Okay, and then this will get put actually down here. Okay, so now our cello situation looks like that. That makes a little bit more sense, so then we can mix this against this and pan it in a way that makes more sense. So I think I'm probably going to leave this alone too. I'm not really sure. This can probably get panned. So I'm just going to jump in and start moving stuff around, and I'll talk about my reasoning as I go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pan this over to the right a little bit. So that's going to be both of these tracks here. We're going to pan over it this way. Maybe call it 20. And then that to me is maybe worth going against this, which is that lead, which I said I was going to keep center. Which I might decide to pan opposite the cello. What are these doing? So I kind of look for pairs to kind of pan one opposite another. Yeah, okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go all the way over here. We're going to loop this section. Pan this a little bit more off to 30. And then we're going to pan this one, the loud one, opposite it, because it's much louder. And we'll keep the lead in the center. This one. That one's going to go opposite the one that we just panned off to the left. It's going to go to the right, but not as much. I'm going to bring that up a couple dB also. 2 to be exact. Now, this acoustic, I'm just going to put it both sides and sort of see what happens. Kind of like it over there a little bit better. Okay, so that takes care of the panning on the end. If we go to this middle section here. What's this doing? Okay, so these two are playing off of this. So let's look at where this is panned. This is panned that 20 to the right. So let's pan these guys 20 to the left. Maybe 15 to the left. Well, that's also where the acoustic is. Yep. I like this. How about these guys? Okay, those are those swells. So this might be an opportunity to do something fun with these swells and give them, like, pan them against each other. So if I take this one, leave that one center. Okay. And let's say I pan these off of one another. They're about the same loudness with the way I have the fader set. The left one is a touch quieter. I'm looking over here and seeing that they're about the same loudness. I'm going to pull this one up maybe 1 dB. And then we'll pan these guys pretty wide because they're just adding space. And we'll put this one back in the center. And then we have some stereo width happening here. Same thing here with these three. We're gonna go, let's see here. We're gonna go maybe 15, 15, and center on this one. So let's listen to these guys. That might give us some interesting stereo width here on these. Yeah, that works just fine for me. Okay. What else have we got here? If we start looking at... Okay, so I haven't panned these guys. Okay, this beginning cello up to here has not been panned. Okay, yeah, so I really only panned the cello 3 that I made. So let's listen to this area. Yeah, so we'll take this one. We'll pan this one slightly left. Maybe 10. We'll pan this one 10 right. So that just separates them slightly. Headphones are going to be imperative for this if you're following along, or if you have a big setup with some big speakers or something to hear these differences. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice sound. It already sounds so much better than before, just with that little bit of panning. Put the piano in. Yeah. Here's everything. There we go. Yeah, this lead. This lead, you know, it's another question for the artist. I probably maybe would even elect at this point to just pan it way off and put it in a bunch of verb and then keep the vocal nice and clean. But the artist might want it up front like that. But I might do something like this. Put it way over. Turn it down. Says that much, just looks at me with disgust that withers. Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's a little bit of an executive decision by me to turn that down. It's almost like because it comes in here and nothing else happens, you know, right here, basically from here to here, basically this section here, the only thing really that happens that is of real interest is that lead comes in. So it's a little bit, it's almost like you want it center there, but then it needs to be out of the way for the vocal. So yeah, you could automate that or do something. Because I want it strong here. You know, I feel like I want it strong here, but then once the vocal comes in, I want it out of the way. But I think we're in good shape here to mess with the master fader and get this thing delivered to the client as an initial mix. So I'm going to end the video here. In the last video, we will do some stuff with the master fader and finish the series here and play the whole thing straight through for the first time really in the series with some, I'm not going to call it mastering, but some stuff on the master fader to get it nice and strong and spread out, open, even, clean sounding, and professional sounding. So stick around. Final video coming up soon.